These are days and nights of venom and blood. Heroes will rise as the anchors fall.
What is up, YouTube? Dottz Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you guys 7 tips and tricks to help you guys get started in ESO. Don't know how I came up with 7 specifically, why it's not like a nice round number like 5 or 10, but I came up with 7 for you guys. Now, these tips are mainly for playing the game your first time around, or if you're starting a brand new character. Now, this video assumes that you know at least the basics and you want some quick starter tips, and if during the video you feel lost at all and have no clue what I'm talking about, I'm going to put a link in the description below to my full beginner guide, as well as some other videos that are tailored to people that are really just starting out and need more in-depth information than just a couple of tips. Now, moving into the tips, we're going to be covering a wide range of topics, but the first one that I'm going to talk about is what resource you should be putting your points in. Now, your skills are going to scale with whichever resource that the ability itself uses. So stamina abilities will get stronger with more stamina, magicka abilities will get stronger with more magicka, so you're going to want to dump all of your points into the respective attribute in order to maximize your damage. Now, tanks, you're obviously going to want to grab some health along the way so that you could actually be tanky. So as you see, I have 48 points in my magicka right here, and that is because if you look at my skills, I use skills like Swallow Soul, which, as you can see, cost magicka, Annulment cost magicka, Grim Focus cost magicka, Steadfast Ward cost magicka. So I am basically trying to focus my character on being a more magicka focused character, thus I put all my points into the magicka attribute. The second tip that I have for you guys is to pick a race that is tailored towards your goals in the game, like what you end up wanting to do, but then pick a class based on the theme and the play style that you want. Because any class can fit into any role. Like the Dragon Knight does not have to be a tank, the Templar does not have to be a healer, the Sorcerer does not have to be a mage, and the Nightblade does not have to be a rogue. You can do, any role with any class, so you pretty much just kind of want to pick whichever class you like the theme of the most. So look into the classes a little bit and see which one kind of fits your likes the most, go with that class. But then when it comes to the races, that's when I think you should be a little bit more picky. The racials will give you key bonuses to your character that'll give you that little extra oomph you need to perform. So kind of like a little too long didn't read version of the racial video I made a couple weeks ago, is that when it comes to doing magicka builds, you want to play a high elf, a Breton, or a dark elf. When it comes to doing stamina builds, you want to play a Khajiit, a Wood Elf, or a Red Guard. And then when it comes to tanking, you want to play a Nord, an Orc, or an Imperial. And then if you have no idea what you want to do, or you kind of want to do a little bit of everything, I'd recommend playing either an Imperial or an Argonian. The third tip that I have is to not spend money on gear. Don't waste your money. Save your gold for upgrading your bag, your bank, upgrading, and purchasing your horse. Those are the 3 most important things you really should be spending your money on, especially early on in the game for a character. You're gonna get plenty of gear from questing, dungeons, and crafting, so like I said, just don't waste your money on high-priced gear. It's all overpriced and not worth it at the lower levels. Just like I said, save it for those 3 other things. They are the most important things to spend your gold on early on. My fourth tip is to start researching traits for gear immediately. As soon as you start playing, you want to start researching gear traits as you bring them in. I would recommend, if you're on PC, getting the Research Assistant add-on. That makes this process so much easier, and the reason that you want to start doing these very early on and save the gear that you can research is because timers, as you can see, this takes 3 days and 19 hours to research, are going to get exponentially longer as you learn more and more traits for the gear. So you don't want to end up waiting till the end of the game to do all your research, because if you do decide that you want to craft your own gear, you're going to be waiting a long time to have these traits researched, because all of the good gear at the end of the game that has all these good set bonuses and stuff require you to have a certain number of traits for the piece that you want to make researched. That is why doing these research timers, if you do plan on crafting gear at all, is extremely important and something you want to get started on early. My fifth tip is a simple one. always use bookshelves in the game when you come across a bookshelf. So if you walk up to a bookshelf and there's the option to either use or read or whatever the tooltip on your action button appears as, you want to use the bookshelf because you can level up skill lines from reading books on the bookshelf. So any single time you come across a bookshelf, always use it so that you always will have the possibility of leveling something up. My sixth tip is about skill line experience. Now, skills gain experience when they're on your active bar, so the bar of the weapon that you're currently using, and weapons and armor gain experience when you're actually leveling that type of, or when you're actually wearing that type of armor. Now, when you turn in a quest, whatever abilities that are on your active bar will also cause those abilities to gain experience as your character gains experience from completing that quest. So what you want to try to do is mix and match abilities and armor types so that you can level up multiple skill trees simultaneously. Now, I think it's a very good idea when you're creating a new character to try to have a rough idea of what you want to use in terms of gear and weapons and try to focus on that and mainly work on those so that come, the end of the game, you'll have the stuff that you want to mainly use. When it comes to armor types, light armor is going to be mainly used for magicka-based builds. Medium armor is going to be used for stamina builds. Heavy armor is for tanking. Or you could even mix all three if you decide to use the Undaunted passive, Undaunted Metal, which will increase your maximum health, stamina, and magicka by 1% per armor type. So let's say you want to be mainly a magicka user, you would have, let's say 5 pieces of light gear on and 1 piece of medium and 1 piece of heavy, so that you would gain the effects of Undaunted Metal, but then again, you're going to lose out on some light armor perks that you would gain from having all light pieces on. So you kind of have to decide based on your end game build with that what you want to do, but this tip mainly focuses on you need to have your armor and abilities active and on your bar when you want to physically level them up. So try to mix and match your abilities on your bars as much as possible while you're leveling so that you can level up all the skill trees simultaneously. My last tip is a very basic one, but I actually have had people in stream ask me why I do so many dungeons, and you want to do at least 1 random dungeon per day. That is tip number 7. As you can see, I'm going to gain almost 40,000 extra experience, and I'm going to get Undaunted exploration supplies in the mail after I complete a dungeon. So those supplies will contain, like a soul gem, a random item, and sometimes even a really good piece of gear. I've gotten good gear to sell, I've gotten good gear to wear, and I gain so much experience from that extra, for that 40k at the end, and just doing a dungeon in general, and dungeons also have quests in them. So you always want to do minimum 1 dungeon per day to maximize the amount of experience that you can gain from the dungeons themselves. Don't miss out on this easy, free experience and possible epic items for your character. That's it for me today, guys. I just wanted to share these 7 tips that I have picked up from my leveling process. This is my first full go-around in ESO. I have leveled up to about the same place I am before, but that was a little bit over a year ago. So you guys did ask me this time around as I leveled up to share anything I learned with you guys, so hence this video. Anyway, if you guys have any questions about this video or ESO in general, please leave a comment below. Also, I currently am taking suggestions for videos. I'm kind of like having a creative slump right now. After this video, I do not really have anything planned that I've kind of could use some assistance with coming up with some new ideas. So if you have anything that you would like to see made a reality by me, I will be sure to help you out if I like the suggestion. I will be trying to stream later this week. Hopefully my internet will cooperate. We're having some weather problems, so that's probably why the internet is so poor, but hopefully it gets fixed soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you do, and as always, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.